Hello everyone, welcome to SAM IELTS YouTube channel. How are you all? I hope that you're all fine and seriously preparing for the IELTS exam, and that's the reason you have probably landed in this channel now. Alright, this channel is actually dedicated to the ambitious people, the people who really want to settle down in abroad either for work or for study. Also, the people who really want to learn English for their profession can actually watch this channel, because this channel consists of full information regarding the English from basic level to the advanced level. Well, without further delay, let's deep dive into today's topic. Today's topic is all about the phrasal verbs. The phrasal verbs that you can actually use in the IELTS speaking exam, through which you can get band 8+ in the first attempt itself. Trust me, if you use these phrasal verbs, you will get band 8+. What I want you to do is that take a piece of pen and a paper and note down all these phrasal verbs. Always I insist you to use a vocabulary journal, so that you can actually note down all these words in a single journal, and while you are going for the exam you can just refer to the words, and whatever words comes to your mind regarding that you can actually speak in that IELTS speaking exam. Also, I really want you to dedicate at least 20 minutes a day to read these words again and again. Also, in the IELTS speaking, if you want any mentor or any help regarding this IELTS speaking, please visit www.samielts.in or our team WhatsApp number 90431408844 to book a free demo. Alright, with this introduction, let's deep dive into today's topic. First of all, in the part 1 questions, the examiner will ask you, do you like this? Do you like swimming? Do you like arts? Do you like crafts? Something of that sort. Which means you need to say yes or no. So the thing is that instead of saying the word yes, you can use so many words. So I am going to give you a list of words where you can actually use in the speaking exam. I am keen on this. Do you like drawing? I am keen on drawing. I am keen on. Clear? I am fond of. I am fond of drawing. I am a huge fan of drawing. I am keen to do something. To grow my interest in something. All these words you can actually use to say the word yes. Suppose if you want to say no, then you can actually use the word not before the word. For example, I am not keen on drawing. I am not a huge fan of cooking. I don't want to grow myself on this area. Clear? So the thing is that if you want to say the statement with a positive note, you can use for the yes. Or if you want to use these words, you can actually use no, which means not, so that you can actually represent the negative feeling. Are you clear with this? Because in the part 1 question, you need to say either yes or no. So be prepared with a lot of phrasal verbs. Also, I have given another set of phrasal verbs in my previous video, so you can actually refer to that video for more kind of words also. The other words that you can actually use to represent the word yes is absolutely, for sure, indeed. You can use these kind of words. Definitely. Use these words to replace the word yes. Never say yes. Clear? So what are the other words that you can say for the no? You can say, it's not my piece of cake. That's not the way I see it. That's not true always. Actually, that's one way of seeing it. Use these kind of phrasal verbs to represent no to the examiner. Are you clear with this? Be clear to say either yes or no, and use these kind of phrasal verbs to explain your answer to the examiner clearly. Alright, so I'm going to discuss you the next set of words. Alright, the next category that I'm going to discuss here is about asking the clarification. Sometimes the examiner will ask you a question, and the question is, you will not get the question correctly. In that case, I want you to make clarity with the question. So what you can ask to the examiner? You can actually ask the examiner to repeat the question, or you can ask for the clarification to the examiner. For example, you can ask like, could you please repeat the question, sir? Could you please repeat the question, sir? I didn't catch it up. Can you please repeat? I didn't catch it up. Could you please repeat? I'm not very clear about it. Can you please explain about it? I am not very clear about it. Can you please explain about it? Clear? So you can actually use these questions in order to get the clarity of the question, because if you have misunderstood the question, then your answers will be wrong and it drastically reduces your mark. So I don't want you to do that. Instead, you can ask the examiner to give the clarity on the questions so that you can understand the question clearly and you can give the answer to the examiner very clearly. Clear? Yes, you have the liberty to ask the examiner regarding the clarification. Please do understand. If you are really confused with the question, please stop there and ask the question and ask the examiner to clarify the question so that you can do the answer part very clearly. Clear? Alright. Now the next section which I want to discuss is all about the clarification. This time the clarification is not about the examiner. You mean sometimes when you are explaining your answer, you will be just messed up and you need to clarify your point to the examiner very clearly. So you can use some phrasal verbs to explain your answer to give clarity regarding your answer. What I mean is that, to put in another way, what I'm trying to say is that, when you got messed up with your answers, when you beat around the bush, never do that. Suppose in case you got confused and you just beat around the bush, just stop there and tell this word to put in another words so that the examiner will understand, okay, this candidate is actually explaining, clarifying his point very clearly. So that the clarification is very important to the examiner so that the examiner will give you more marks. Clear? Please make a note of these kind of words because these words will really help you to give the clarity to the examiner, and when you are really clear with the answer, the examiner will give you band 8+. Clear? Alright. And the next important things that I'm going to discuss here is all about the agree. Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? So you have to tell either you agree or disagree. So I'm going to give you a set of phrasal verbs that you can actually use to explain you agree. I totally agree. I totally agree. I reckon that's true. I reckon that's true. So you can use these kind of phrasal verbs. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. It depends. Well, it all depends upon the situation. For example, the examiner is asking you the question, do you prefer to go out for a walk in the evening? Well, it all depends upon my mood. When I have a really busy day, I really want to sit down on my couch. On the other hand, when I had a very normal day and I really prefer to go out for the park. So the thing is that when you are really free, you would prefer to go out for the walk in the park, which is nearby your house. Whereas when you have a really busy day, you don't want to go out of the house itself. Clear? So the thing is that you have to tell to the examiner whether you agree or whether you totally agree or whether you partially agree. So the thing is that when you totally agree, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And when you want to do partially agree, you can say it depends. I reckon it depends upon my mood. When you say the word depends, you need to understand, you need to say the one statement and the contrary statement. So you need to explain two statements in a single thing. Okay, so if you say like, do you prefer to go out in a crowd? And you say, well, it depends. So the thing is that you need to explain both the situation. So for example, if the crowd is in the supermarket, I get annoyed. Or if the crowd is in the mall, I'm convinced. So the thing is that I'm telling to the examiner very clearly that it depends upon my mood or it depends upon the situation, and I am explaining both the circumstances very clearly to the examiner. Are you clear with this? This is a very important point that you need to understand before going to the IELTS speaking exam. Clear? Alright, let's get started. Sometimes you completely disagree with the question. So what do you say for that? I totally disagree. I'm not convinced. That's not the way I see it. That's not always true. You can actually use these kind of words. See, disagreeing in the IELTS speaking exam is not a myth. See, the thing is that you can actually disagree to the examiner When you are not convinced with the point, you can actually say the examiner, I don't agree to this question, and that's absolutely acceptable. Remember, this is an international English exam test, and this is not an Indian education system. I'm sorry to mention that, but you need to understand that you can either agree or disagree to the question that is being asked by the IELTS examiner. So the thing is that you need to clear whether you agree or whether you disagree. You need to tell the reason behind that. If the reason is being clear that, then absolutely the IELTS examiner will give you marks. So don't get worried or don't get confused whether I can disagree with the question. That's absolutely acceptable. Please remember that. Clear? And the other important category that I want to touch now is that expressing your own opinion. As far as I am concerned, sometimes the examiner will ask you the opinionated question. Especially in the IELTS speaking part 3, opinionated questions plays a significant role. What is your opinion on this? What is your opinion on that? So you need to tell to the examiner very clearly, as far as I am concerned, as far as I am concerned, as I see it, as far as I know. So the thing is that you are telling to the examiner up to my knowledge. See, this is up to my knowledge, I am saying this answer. Well, you can say up to your knowledge. For example, the examiner is asking you something related to the artificial intelligence and you really don't know anything about the artificial intelligence. Please don't worry about that. You can actually say, as far as I am concerned. As far as I am concerned. That is the statement that you can use and you can say your answer. Also, you can use the word, I am by no means an expert. I am by no means an expert. Use these kind of phrasal verbs so that the examiner can understand, okay, this person is having a little knowledge about it. Remember, this is not a knowledge exam, this is not an aptitude exam, or this is not a concept exam. This is an English exam. Until or unless if your English is correct, the examiner will give you marks. So the expressing opinion, be clear about this. You can say, you can agree, you can totally disagree, you can say you are convinced, whatever it is. But use the phrasal verbs very clearly so that the examiner will give you marks. Clear? And the other important thing that I want to discuss here is that expressing the facts. Sometimes you need to say some fact and you need to accept that. As a matter of fact. As a matter of fact. This word we actually use in the letter writing based, IELTS general writing task 1. But also remember, this can be used in the speaking also. As a matter of fact, as I am concerned about it. So the thing is that you are telling to the examiner the facts. Okay. So for example, the examiner is asking you something related to the history and you are saying, as a matter of fact. So you can use this phrasal verb and explain the situation or explain about the history. Something which is real, whether it may be related to the history or geography or whatever it is, you can understand that as a matter of fact, you can use that. Clear? Alright, and the last thing that I want to discuss with you is that how to conclude. See, in the writing, the conclusion is something different because we have a set of phrasal verbs there. However, in the speaking, you need to use a different set of words and I am going to say that words. Please make a note of it. To wrap up. To wrap up. All in all. Overall. In the nutshell. Use these words, either of these words to conclude your answer. Probably in the speaking part 2, you should conclude your answer. So the thing is that if you are running out of ideas or if you are feeling okay, I have done my level best, and you need to conclude your answer so that the examiner can really understand, okay, this girl is going to conclude. Are you clear with this? Never use any written vocabulary to conclude. So you cannot use the word therefore, hence, don't use these words. Instead, you can use the above words, which means overall, all in all, in the nutshell, to wrap up, use these words. If you want any help related to the IELTS exam, please visit www.samielts.in or our team WhatsApp number 90431 40844. We have a team of experienced tutors and they will help you regarding your understanding your flaws, doing the mock test, giving the practice materials, everything will be taken care of. Our mission is to make you to get band 8 plus in the first attempt itself. So thank you for watching this video till the very end, and today I'm signing off. If you really like this video, please like, share and subscribe to the IELTS aspirants so that they can actually get a lot of information regarding this speaking topic. Thank you.